Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Developments on the Ukrainian front. I made a video, I think it was yesterday, where I claimed that the Russians switched their focus, or at least they started attacking more Odessa and Zaporozhye. That little change of focus continues, or expanding of the focus, because as of now, it's Donetsk and it is Kharkov, and trying to push the invaders out of Kursk. Now, 2 days in a row, the Ukrainians report the Russians attacking Zaporizhzhia and Zaporizhzhia Oblast, not only the city, and Odessa again with drones. And I will show you the extent of the attacks. That's the first one. Second one, the Americans are trying to, on one hand, refuse let's say, arm the Ukrainians with certain kind of weapons. On the same time, they refuse the Ukrainians some weapons. What's going on over there? The French will send their Rafale to Ukraine, and that could trigger a long-range missile strikes in deep inside Russia. Then we have, if you remember, that F-16 that was downed, collapsed, I don't know, fell down, whatever euphemism you want to use. They are investigating the causes still of that F-16. The first time the F-16s were used, some say that more than one was downed. They say one just fell. I will tell you what happened. All right, so let's start with the first article. Coming from Ukrainska Pravda, let's see the extent of the overnight Russian attack on Ukraine. So Ukraine air defenses down 32 out of 51 Russian attack drones overnight. And as always, that is part of the evidence. All right. As of the morning of 9 of November, okay, Ukrainian air defense confirmed the downing of 32 Russian UAVs. It is known that the Russians launched 51 attack UAVs on Ukraine from Russia city of Primorsko-Akhtarsk and Oryol. An additional 18 drones had disappeared from radar in various regions across Ukraine. So Primorsko-Akhtarsk, I'm going to show you where they launched their drones, and here is where they were launched towards. Odessa, Mykolaiv, Dnipropetrovsk, Zaporizhzhia, Donetsk, Sumy, Kharkiv, Poltava, Vinnytsia, Cherkasy, and Ternopil Oblast. All right, so they launched from Primorsko-Akhtarsk and Oryol. Here is Oryol. This is a border here with Ukraine. So from here, Oryol and Primorsko-Akhtarsk, it's across from the Sea of Azov, right where my strong hand is located. Here, Ram-pam-pam. So from here and from north of this. And oblasts were attacked. They said, I think, Chernihiv, Sumy, Kharkiv, Kharkov, Poltava, Dnipropetrovsk, Kiev, Cherkasy. This area, no more than half of it. They didn't go more than half. And you have Odessa and Mykolaiv in the south. Odessa here and Mykolaiv here. All these things. Now I'm going to focus on Odessa, which the Ukrainians focused in particular, and Zaporizhzhia Oblast, which is right here. So remember, this in particular and that in particular, the Ukrainians felt like they need to provide the readers with extra information. They didn't use Kiev this time or anything like that. So let's go to the second article, which is going to be another confirmation of the Ukrainians' success, as we would call it. So let me see. Ukrinform. Ukrainian defenders shot down 32 drones overnight. Again, papara, patsaka, this is the real evidence right there. There they are. Proof for you, 32. And the same article, papara, patsaka. Okay, let's go to Ukrainska Pravda and we find Odessa. Shahed drone attack on Odessa. High-rise and office building damaged. Cars burned out. Photos. We're not going to look at the photos. My point is, this is a second consecutive next day attack on Odessa, and the Ukrainians felt like it's necessary to make a special how do you call it, article on that. So Russian drone attack on Odessa on the night of 8 to 9 November has caused significant damage to high-rise buildings and residential area, office buildings and cars. No casualties have been reported. Ukrainian public local media also reported that part of the city had been left without electricity. So must have been some success over there. Next one. Russians launched, now they say here, let me go back here. This is on Odessa. So where is Odessa? Again, right here. It seems like the Russians will push forward here. This is my prediction. They will try to push forward here. It was a question before if they're going to try to take Odessa. I think it was always a Russian plan to landlock Ukraine. I think they will go here and will stop everything. The Ukrainians will not have any access to the Black Sea. They will kill them, not kill them, but destroy them economically, let's put it this way, and strategically. So that's the first one, Odessa. Next one, Russia launched 417 attacks on Zaporizhzhia Oblast over past day. So 417 attacks in one day over Zaporizhzhia Oblast. Where is Zaporizhzhia Oblast? We're going to go right here, north of the Sea of Azov. This is Zaporizhzhia, right here. This is the city of Zaporizhzhia, and this is where the front is stopped right here. No, not much fantastic changes. Remember, this reservoir is not there anymore because of the Kakovka, is that how it goes? Novokakovka, whatever it's called here. Dam, there was Novoya Kakovka right here, that was down, destroyed by, Zelensky said, the Russians, and these guys just ingested that garbage because Zelensky said so, and he's a big, you know what I mean. So this is what we talk about. In this area, there were 417 attacks. The Russians have launched 417 attacks on 14 settlements in Zaporizhzhia Oblast over the past 24 hours. So a total of 2026 UAVs of various types attack Bilenke, Lobkove, Huliapole, Sherbaki, Novoandriivka, Novodanilivka, Robotinie, Mala Tokmachka, Bilohiria, Malinivka, Novodarivka, and Olivske. So all these, the settlements that I read here, I know if I look of them, they are located along this line. So probably the whole thing, the front, they try to clear things here, and then they're gonna push with forward with the troops. That's how you do it. 8 MLRS strike targeted the civilians. Additionally, 179 artillery strikes hit this. I'm not gonna read them again. These settlements. There were 65 reports of damage to residential buildings and infrastructure. No civilian casualties were reported. Excellent. So again, Odessa and Zaporozhye. Ukrinform, Russians shell 14 settlements in Zaporizhzhia region in past day. The same thing as the other guys reported. Let's go to the next topic from Ukrinform. Ukrainian drones hit chemical plant in Russia's Tula region. Why? Because that chemical plant was also on the sanction list of the Americans, the Europeans. But hey, it's not a problem, it's war, right? So let's see where Tula is. Tula is, so this is Ukraine. Tula is in northeast of Ukraine. So I'm going to go over Kursk and then, not like that actually. All right, not in north of Kursk, you go here and you go to Tula, right here. This is close to Moscow, which is right here. So they launched from here to Tula. That's about, I don't know, 500 miles, 400 kilometers, something like this, 400 kilometers, 500 kilometers about. So is that a long-range missile strike, or this is not a missile strike, a drone strike? Yeah, with Ukrainian drones. Nevertheless, let's read the article. On the night of Saturday, drones of the Security Service of Ukraine, SBU, and the Special Operation Forces targeted the Alexin chemical plant in Russia's Tula region, which is part of the Rostec Corporation and produces ammunition. Nothing for the civilians whatsoever, just for the military. Gunpowder and materials for the Russian defense industry. So here they made a case, we hit only military targets. The Russians kill only civilian targets. And I'm quoting, the SBU is comprehensively, oh, you got this from the Democrats in the United States of America, comprehensive gun reform. Screw you. When I hear comprehensive, that's what I'm thinking, comprehensive gun reform. That means taking my guns. That's how I want to look at it. Working on targets on the Russian territory that are involved in the war against Ukraine. Strikes on weapons depots, military airfields, and enterprises that are part of Russia's defense industrial complex. Reduce Russia's ability to terrorize our country. The source emphasized, you shouldn't have been at war with Russia, baby doll, but hey, your master pushed you there. The source clarified that this night, drones of the SBU and SOF hit the chemical plant in the town of Alexin, Tula region, Russia. Town of Alexin. Okay, let's see where that is located. All right, and that is across from Kaluga. So from here, this is Alexin, exactly here. So east of Kaluga, northwest of Tula, right there. So it's far, far away. It's close to Moscow, closer to Moscow. It's right in this corner here. Moscow is there. So that's the one. And I'm going to show you another map right here where this plant is located. And I identified the plant. They call it, how do you call it? Kombinat. This is the one that they struck right here by the Oka River. So we got this one covered. All right, let's go back to the article, shall we? Where is that at? Probably this one. No. And this one is, the plant is a Rostec Corporation. They added it at 9:30 p.m. on Friday. Air raids alert were declared. Okay, we don't care about that one. Next one. Sputnik. U.S. Defense Secretary refuses Zelensky's request for priority delivery of ATACMS, report says. All right, so the Americans refused fast delivery. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has refused a recent request from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to give priority to delivery of ATACMS missile systems to Ukraine over other customers. U.S. media reported on Saturday, citing two U.S. officials and an advisor to the Ukrainian government. Austin also told Zelensky that violating long-standing agreements with other buyers would be a lot to ask. One of the officials told the newspaper. The report also read that the U.S. would provide Ukraine with over 500 interceptors for the Patriot and NASAMS systems, which is right here from the New Voice of Ukraine. Pentagon to send Ukraine 500 interceptor missiles for Patriot and NASAMS. So that means they could be one of the latest tranches of delivery from the Americans. So as of now, we'll see what Trump will do. And I have another article, I have about 5 articles on this subject that I will discuss in the next video, where I'm going to show you how these guys are getting ready for, hey, troop deployment in Ukraine. And I will make that case with evidence and with intelligence that we have a lot. Okay, let's go to the next article, which shows us what the French will do. This French fighter jet Ukraine will get next can launch the stealthy Storm Shadow, or because it's French, let's use Scalp variant missiles that have frustrated Russia. It is the Rafale, if I remember correctly. All right, so this can be fitted with the Scalp or Storm Shadow missiles. What does that tell you? Well, they tell you that these guys are trying to feed Ukraine as much as they can before Trump gets in town. But don't hold your breath about Trump stopping anything. He's going to go in saying a lot of bombastic things. He's going to threaten everybody, and we'll see how much he can do. And not how much he can do. Why? Because he doesn't have muscles. How much he's allowed to do by the guys on top of him that we don't really know about, but we know they're there, by their movements of troops, which are the politicians, media, schools, and all that. And then the guys behind, which is the bureaucracy. Trump can bark how much he wants, what kind of orders to his troops. If the troops doesn't follow order, what he's going to do? Fire them and get other troops? Exactly. And the next troops will be the same as the other one. I'm talking about the Secretary of Defense and these guys that are supposed to follow the president's orders and directives. Correct? Correct. So these guys are getting ready for Scalp missiles. Next and the last article for this video. has to do with the investigation on that F-16 crash, they call it. SBI, investigating circumstances of F-16 crash. I will tell you what happened to that. The Bureau of Investigation is conducting a pre-trial investigation into the circumstances of the F-16 fighter jet crash, during which pilot Oleksiy Mess died. A total of 11 forensic expertises have been appointed. All right. What I think it happened? I think it got shut down. It was in the line of whatever is in a war. It was in the middle of a Russian missile and drone attack on Ukraine. This was supposed to shoot them down. Don't you think there's a chance that the Russians saw the guy over there? If you think that these F-16s are just invincible, all right, Hollywood is right there. All right, just 2 clicks away. No, my friends, I think it's like ignoring the most probable scenario. It was hit by a missile. Most probable, but these guys cannot say that. Why? That looks bad. Like that plane is invincible. Now, why did it fall? Why did it crash? I think first on the list is it was hit, obviously, in the middle of... It's like you go in a gunfight, and then you get wounded. And what happened? I don't know. It was a friendly fire. What's the most probable thing? You went fighting with those guys face to face. Most probably that those guys shot you. And then maybe you're a baboon and you shot yourself, so you can be sent back from the front and you get a Medal of Honor. That happened in history many, many times. Or a friendly fire, a baboon. Hey, what a boof. Oh, sorry, man. Possible. But, you always look at what's most probable scenario. What's the prime suspect? The prime suspect is the enemy. So anyway, they can come with this. They are bringing up... I don't know why are they still talking about this? I thought they settled it. It was a friendly fire and that's it. They put a narrative that I personally will have doubts about it. Not that it is impossible. It's possible everything they say, but I don't trust them. And I go with my most probable scenario. Shot by the Russians. The same with the Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2 pipelines. Oh, we don't know. It was those guys on a boat. Or, I don't know, canoeing or something. Not the other guys with all the capabilities who said they will stop it if Russia invades. I mean, all right, my friends, here is for now. Next video, I will discuss American troops on the ground. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.